one final time in the 2025 NFL season. We at Special Edition are live from the Star in Frisco saying thank you, Cowboys Nation, for the support all season long and looking forward to this 2026 offseason and, of course, the 2026 NFL season, which officially gets underway in March. We're live from inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. So glad you're with us. Gentlemen, the conversations have already begun around the defensive coordinator search. The Cowboys let go of Matt Eberflus. We talked about that last week. Now it's come time to talk about who's going to replace Matt Eberflus. Here are some of the names that have already been interviewed by the Dallas Cowboys. You've got the Minnesota passing game coordinator, Durante Jones, Cleveland safeties coach, Mr. Banda out there, who does a great job there. One of the fan favorites for the job, Jim Leonard, who was in Denver this last offseason. In-house candidate, White Cotton. An opportunity to maybe see a former head coach, Arizona head coach Jonathan Gannon, and then a Dallas product, a former DeSoto Eagle, Zach Orr, who was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore. Out of those names, guys, which DC interests you the most? Barry, I'll start with you.
It has to be Jim Leonard for me. Not only did he play the game at an extremely high level, he was a part of some of those great Baltimore defenses back in the day. So for me, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, we saw all those explosive plays that the secondary was giving up. If you bring a guy in like Jim Leonard, who played in the secondary at a high level, he understands how to get these guys to communicate on the same page, and you need him to go in there and incorporate his game plan for that secondary. So for me, I'm going with Jim Leonard. That's an intriguing prospect for me.
I'm going to double down on Jim Leonard, solely from the standpoint that he is one of those young, high, energetic guys that has played in the league, has a lot of stripes, that the guys can respect. And when you step into the room, also he's touted as being a great teacher, somebody who teaches the game. So these guys, you have to be able to meet these guys at their level, gain the respect of them by being a former player, and then the fact that he is ascending through the ranks very quickly. I think he has to be the choice.
I just want somebody that's going to be able to communicate with the players, get everybody lined up, do what they need to do. I like this guy they're talking about, but I will go with Zach Orr, give him a shot at it. I know the Ravens didn't do as well as we expected they do on defense, but he is a commanding voice. He knows how to handle young people.
I wore my green today. He did go to the University of North Texas and was part of the Mean Green. But I think you also got to look at Durante Jones. He's also a guy who brings that teaching, that coaching ability. Don't keep an eye on all these guys, but don't forget about a guy like Durante Jones in the mix. Now, the Cowboys also know, because of the Bears' defeat of the Packers in the wild card round, where they will pick in this upcoming NFL draft. They already knew they were 12th overall at the end of their regular season, but with the Packers' loss, Cowboys actually picked 20th overall, which is a pretty good number when you think about what happened in the Micah Parsons trade to acquire that selection. Barry, we thought maybe that was a 30 or above type of pick. Now you get 2 picks inside the top 20. What would you do with them?
And I'm using both of them on the defensive side of the football. Look, I understand, the offense is high-powered, and they understand what they got going on that side of the football. You got to get the defensive side of the football right. This is a quarterback-driven league, and the way to slow down these powerful offenses out there and to basically get your team to that next level, you got to have people to affect the pass rusher. So I'm going with that 12th overall pick. I'm going with pass rusher, and then the secondary for that 20th overall.
We're on the same track again. I'm thinking along the same lines as you, Barry. If there is a guy at 12 that is a game changer, somebody that can get after the quarterback, then go get him at 12. And then outside of that, you need somebody at the safety position that can go out there and command the entire secondary, somebody who strikes fear into opposing offenses.
After we get a veteran linebacker and safety through free agency in the first week, you use that draft pick however you see fit. I would like for you to get an edge rusher, but I don't care how you use those first 2 picks after we address that thing in free agency.
I like that. Let's set it up in free agency and then draft best player available. That's always the best strategy. But do they have the money to do so? There's a lot of that on the docket as well. We've got a loaded show for you today, including our Drip or Drop segment. We debut some of the best looks both on and off the field for the Dallas Cowboys this season. Then when we come back on the other side of the break, a couple All-Pros named on the Cowboys roster. Who deserved it?
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
It's that time of the year where all pro lists come out, and as you see on your screen right now, the Dallas Cowboys have 3 guys that were selected to the second team All-Pro, but not all guys are going to be happy about where they landed. One being Mr. George Pickens, as you see on your screen right now. He got a little bit active on X, not Twitter. He thinks that he should have been first team. Believing that is a popularity contest? Maybe. What do you guys think? Should he have been first team? Or does he deserve to be on the second team?
If it's going for me, I'm saying first team. Yeah. I mean, you got you were second in yards or third in yards. I mean, Chase is an unbelievable wide receiver. We all understand that for the Cincinnati Bengals. But for me, if you're talking about this season in particular, George Pickens outplayed him.
Okay, why?
I think I'm the same way. You look at the numbers, you look at the way that he played. Now, one of them had a quarterback that was healthy all season in George Pickens with Dak Prescott. Jamar Chase did not have a healthy Joe Burrow throughout most of the year. So maybe that weighed into the voting. Okay. I think it's close, but I would have had George Pickens edge out Jamar Chase. What do you think?
George Pickens, baby, all the way.
And I'm going to agree. I think Mr. Jorge should have been in that list as well. A top 3 receiver in yards. Obviously, he wasn't in the top 3 in terms of touchdowns, but the man balled out.
Yeah, he definitely did. Definitely exceeded the expectations across the board for the Dallas Cowboys, so all good things there. I found something the other day. In these chairs that we have here on our studio, I tend to stuff my rundowns and my notes back here. Okay. I found one the other day from training camp, gentlemen. All the way back at training camp. Take a look at this. This was back from July 23rd of 2025. I want to break down some of the questions we were asking at that point in time. One of the big things early on was, can this team live up to the expectations? Can they get back to first place? Can they get back to where they were a Super Bowl contender? And they had a Dak Prescott coming off of an injury, off of some surgery, off of a healthy but not so healthy offseason. And they said, or I even wrote on my notes there, if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to do so with Dak Prescott leading the way. And then we've seen what happened in 2025 now. How do you feel like they lived up to expectations based off of our early questions that we had going into the year?
Offensively, they lived up to it.
Yeah.
Offensively, but that's 1/3 of your game.
Yeah, that is. And for me, I think the offense were right on par with where they should have been. You look at Dak Prescott coming back from injury. They got the George Pickens in there. I knew that was going to be the strength of this team overall. What I didn't realize was how porous the defense was going to be this season. But when you look at this team offensively, they did everything they could to keep this team in games week in and week out, and you couldn't ask for more from them.
We knew with the addition of George Pickens that this had a chance to be explosive offense, and they lived up to it. But we also was there to watch the Rams do what they did in training camp. And that showed to be the same. So until our defense pick up, it'll be more of the same.
That's the thing. You got to find a way to fill in the holes around it. But according to the early expectations and maybe some of the uncertainty around Dak, the uncertainty around this offense, looked pretty good in the first year under Brian Schottenheimer as the play caller. Now, a couple things going on in the community this week. How about the Cowboys' Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, Solomon Thomas, hosting with Whataburger the 6th annual fundraiser to benefit the Salvation Army of North Texas. The donation between them will support the Salvation Army of North Texas youth education programs, which include initiatives like providing scholarship for at-risk middle school and high school students. Great work from Solomon Thomas, the Dallas Cowboys Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. Of course, the Cowboys watching from the sideline this week. What can the Cowboys do to get back into the divisional round next year?
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
Welcome back into special edition here at the Star in Frisco, alongside Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. Unfortunately, the Cowboys not playing this week in the NFL divisional round. We've known that for quite some time, but we do get a chance to look at some of these teams on what the Cowboys are trying to chase. Yep. They want to get to this week. They want to be in this situation. We'll start with another Texas team. How about the Houston Texans taking on the New England Patriots this weekend?
Listen, this is going to be one heck of a matchup. I do like the Patriots because they're probably one of the more well-rounded teams around the league. However, that defensive line for the Houston Texans, them boys are getting after it. And I don't care what quarterback you are, the last thing you want to see is defensive ends coming off the edge with linebackers bringing pressure up the middle. Yeah, and they have a solid secondary. So I like Houston, but I'm going with the Patriots.
What? After all that, you going with the Patriots?
Patriots are more well-rounded.
Nah. You said it from the beginning. That defensive line for the Houston Texans is unmatched. I mean, especially we saw what they did against Pittsburgh. But even before that, the latter part of the season, you got Danielle Hunter coming off the edge. Will Anderson, first team All-Pro. No one can stop them on the outside. I'm going with Houston in this matchup.
You know, I would like to ride with you, Barry, but Josh Daniels ain't going to let that happen. Captain check down is going to be Mr. Drake. I promise you're going to be captain check down. And if they just, they going up to Foxborough, they outside, they ain't going to deal with that well.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll find out in a couple weeks. He may be captain MVP. Who knows with Drake May and the season he's had. How about Los Angeles and the Rams taking on the Chicago Bears on the road?
Listen, the Rams, we know how strong these guys are. We know about McVay. We know about Puka Nacua. He's unstoppable. The running game is coming along. However, this time around, they're not going to get it done because Chicago Bears have not even began to ascend, and these guys are still going to be ball out, and they're going to win that ball game.
Give me the Rams. They have the best remaining quarterback in the playoffs right now, Matt Stafford. Rams all day.
Verse, baby. He's on the other side.
There you go. That's going to be a great weekend of football. Wish we were a part of it, but unfortunately we're going to watch from home, just like you guys at home. But one thing we do have coming up, you're not going to want to miss it. It's a look back at the best looks from the Cowboys this year, and we're going to join in on the party. It's a little drip or drop.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good.
Throughout an entire NFL season, there's a lot of detail and planning that goes into it, both on and off the field. Of course, you've got the fashion element of this whole thing that likes to put players on a pedestal, and we have some of the best outfits of the season. We're going to rate it as a drip or a drop. And we're going to start with our very own Isaiah Stanback. Let's see what he's working with today. Isaiah rocking with the sneakers. Those are Nate Robinson sneakers. Were they handed to you by Nate himself?
They might have been handed to me by Nate himself. Y'all see right there? Them right there.
Go ahead.
Drip right
Rate
there.
it as the
absolutely.
drip. Okay, what about Barry Church? What we got with Barry Church over here? What's he going with? You know, you can't hide money, right?
I can't hide it.
You can't hide that money.
I can't hide it.
Oh, look at that. The red carpet with the red sneakers.
Magic.
That's quite nice. Well, what about Nate Newton? What is Mr. Nate bringing? How about the no crease? There is not a single crease in there. Is that how you had to walk to get to that point?
Fresh whites, baby.
Okay, so the rules are simple.
Yeah.
Drip or drop. We're going to
Okay.
start with Osa Odigizua, one of the more fashionable icons on this entire Cowboys team. Osa certainly has some drip, but is it enough to avoid the drop? Let's take a look at it. There's the look on the monitor. It's quite outlandish.
Yeah.
Is it a drip, though?
It's not for me. For me, it's a drop. It's a little too much for me. I'm more subtle with mine. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my personal opinion is a drop.
Okay.
Yeah, he's swaggy, but, you know, for my personal taste, I'm going to give him a drop right now. Is it a little bit too baggy for your boy? I like mine Taylor, but it's all good.
I'm too old to have a taste, so I'm going to drip you, baby. I'm going to drip you.
See, and I don't have Osa's paycheck, so I'm saying drip, man. If I had the opportunity, I think I would follow up with what Osa had. All right, what about CeeDee Lamb? He's a fashion icon. Even had a deal with Abercrombie and Fitch this season. Do you like what he brought to the table from the fit?
Again, I'm going to go with the drop. It's a little too out there for me, a little bit too outlandish. The big purse, this bag purse, I can't get with it. So, I'm dropping it.
I'm gonna go drip on this one. I mean, if you got it, was it Abercrombie and Fitch? If you got that connection, then you got some drip for me, man. Look at they zooming in.
We're going to drop you, brother. I love you to death. Great route runner, but I'm dropping it.
You're dropping it?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to drop it, too. I'm sorry, CD.
Yeah, great route runner.
I can't get there. Okay, this is a sneaky one. Malik Hooker.
Okay.
You would think the veteran wouldn't have such style, but man, he's got some style. What do you think there, Barry? Since he's a safety, we got to start
Since he's a safety, you know what? Just because you said that, I'm gonna go drip. All right, I'm team safety all the way. It's a little colorways kind of clashing in my opinion, but Your team safety, so I'm going to go Drip on this one.
Listen, I like the versatility, and plus he's in a partnership with Dread Fi Dread fraternity. I'm going with the Mr. Drip.
Okay.
He close to my tennis shoes, so I'm dripping with him too.
I think it's across the board. It's our first drip sweep. Congratulations there, Mr. Hooker. Now, last one, DeMarvion Overshown. He's got that Western flair to it with that Western cap. That's an easy drip for me.
That's easy drip.
Yeah,
That's
all
a
day.
3D drip right there. It's a 3D drip.
Okay, what about this one? We got one final one for you here.
All right.
How about back in the day? We've talked about a couple of guys so far. How about the drip or drop for one, Barry Church? What do you think about with Barry Church? We got some video here that he's going to bring up to the table. Looky here, right behind us.
Oh, no. The G-Mat would have got you right here. He did. The tie wasn't up to the collar.
The tie wasn't to the collar.
Okay, you got the sponsored headphones. All right, the snapback. Oh! Come on, not the ashy hands. Oh, the sweater. Oh! You got the G-Unit tank top on.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm going to tell you what, man. Oh, you see the backpack, though.
Listen,
Hey,
he had a phone case on here, boy. Secure.
Drip all day.
Hey, that's my dog right there. I'm never gonna go against my dog.
Backpack got the drip.
I'm going against it.
That hat, I don't know.
Hey, it was a G-Unit tank top for me.
Our first ever drip or drop segment, and it couldn't have gone any better, in my opinion. Drip all the way through. By the way, there are some auditions coming up. Prep classes beginning for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and their auditions over the next couple of months. Classes are Fridays at 7, now through March 20th. Audition applications are open through March 13th as well. You can register at DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up on Special Edition, taking a look at a new NFC East coaching hire. John Harbaugh is on his way to New York.
This segment was brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, connecting changes everything.
More than a quarter of the NFL with head coaching vacancies, and now one is filled, and it happens to be in the NFC East. The New York Giants set to hire John Harbaugh, former Super Bowl winning head coach at the Baltimore Ravens. He was the last head coach outside of Mike Tomlin to be either fired or let go or walk or whatever the terminology ends up being. But he's the first one to get hired. That says something about it as we wrap up here on Special Edition. Your first indication, now you're seeing John Harbaugh with the Giants, Nate.
Discipline, defense, and running the rock. Man, come on, New York. Y'all hit a home run.
Dang. Well-respected coach, knows exactly what the heck he's doing, knows how to work with young, talented quarterbacks, knows how to put together a complete team of coaches. Listen, yeah, the Giants are now a formidable force, especially with the roster they have.
Yeah, I believe the division just got a little bit harder, when you talk about for the Dallas Cowboys. Because one thing you know about Jim Harbaugh and his defense, or his teams overall, they're going to be extremely disciplined out there. And we know the Giants have a lot of pieces on that defensive side of the football. So I believe it got a little bit harder in the NFC East.
Yeah, whenever they let him go initially and they said, hey, Jim Harbaugh's out on the open market, you could argue that the number one opening was the Baltimore Ravens, because you have an MVP at quarterback, and the number one coach on the open market was John Harbaugh. Now he's a part of this division. Tough hire for the Cowboys, but it's going to be a topic of conversation. This is a tough division going into 2026. That does it for us this season on Special Edition. Hope you had fun with us. We had a blast all the way through. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, and our entire crew, Paul, Craven, everybody that had their hands on this one, for our producer, Cody Eastwood, Kevin Timmons, Joni Reimers, all sorts of great individuals in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long. Thanks for watching Special Edition for the 2025 Cowboys season.